Welcome to yet another show after RoW, where I tell you guys exactly what happens. I give you guys a bit of a recap of what happened after I leave the RoW arena. Unfortunately, it wasn't for a training show, but it was for an event. Most recent Platinum. Got a chance to interact with some of the wrestlers and everything like that. It was actually really good. This time I didn't get a chance to be a camera guy because I think everybody was kind of there was like a lot of camera guys over there anyway, so I was like part of the production team, which was code for whenever somebody needed, whenever the head producer needed somebody to do some ripping and running, he would consult me because headsets just aren't a thing. Well, headsets aren't a plenty over there, so it was just a case of, hey, can you go over there and tell this guy to do this? Can you go over there and tell this guy to do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? All this other stuff. So that's what I was. I was basically the errand guy, which I didn't mind doing. Um, I ain't gonna lie though, because of my situation that I'm having with them and my money and everything like that. I stick around for a while, like normally I would stick around for a while, help out, help clean up and things like that. But I was really tired, really sick, and really depressed. So I kind of didn't want to go over there and bring down the mood, which is odd because I love wrestling. I love interacting with everybody. I love being there. But yeah, I just you know me like that like me like that would have I would have just bumped people out. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really tired. There was something that really kind of like bugged me while I was there, though. There was this. Okay, so um, Charlie Murked is no longer alive, and I made some references about that on my Instagram. Somebody saw it. Somebody who also trains over there saw it, and he's like ironically like the youngest person in training. And he confronted me. He's obviously he didn't really like the jokes and stuff like that. And I'm just like cool. It's like I don't expect you to. I'm just don't want you to think that like I don't want you to think that after you tell me this, I'm just gonna change my mind about it or I'm gonna be like okay with it. It was just like more along the lines of it was just more along the lines of he just wanted to sort of tell me that he wasn't really feeling it and he didn't really like what was happening and he didn't really like how I responded to it and I'm like yeah, I mean like I need you to understand like I'm not going to be like that. I'm not gonna really like be like that. I'm not gonna change my mind or not laugh. I'm not gonna. It's like because he was. I think the thing that really kind of annoyed me was when he said, "How would you like it if you had passed away and somebody was like mocking your death?" And I'm like going, I do, like, dude, if I got shot by a police officer, he would have done it. You know what I'm saying? Like him and people who supported him would have been like nappy headed black dude this and criminal that or crackhead this or 12 fat baby mamas that, even though I have none of that on me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I would have been that guy. And I think that at some point he said something like that's just a small percentage of people who support him. That's not everybody. And it's like going rather than be upset with me for mocking this guy, you should maybe be upset at the small percentage of people that are in your community who act like this. Because whenever anybody thinks about like your community, those are the people that everybody thinks about. So like clean up your house. Ironically, I say ironically in this dirty hovel that I am in, but yeah, that was just a thing. And like I'm starting to notice that like in the wrestling world nowadays, there are people who are like the thing that I tend that's really easy to forget is that like a lot of professional wrestlers are in fact right leaning. So of course there is going to be a bit of a discourse about Charlie Murk getting smoked, and some people are going to be like LOL, LOL, play dumb games, and other people are going to be like, how dare you? That's don't do that. And I just want to go ahead and take this time to address this real quick. I don't think he should have gotten shot for the stuff that he said. I don't believe that anybody should get shot for stuff that they say. But the way I see it is, if you go your entire life basically saying everybody should have a gun, getting shot is not that big of a deal, quit whining libs, you know what I'm saying? The moment that you say some stuff like that, yeah, you're going to get blasted. You know what I mean? That's like if I say, If I say, something along the lines of everybody should have a gun, getting shot is not that big of a deal, quit whining, blah blah blah, God, right? Then you're gonna be like, you're gonna shoot me and be like, hey, he gets a chance to meet God personally because of a gun. He's been preaching about this for years. That's the whole concept. But I'm speaking, and like I always go back to Hulk Hogan, because that was the reference that I was trying my best to like steer away from, because we was talking about this like while everybody's getting ready to go, and I'm like, dog, this is not the time or place to talk about this. But if you want to talk about controversial figures passing away and people having different perspectives on them, look no further than Hulk Hogan. Okay, Hulk Hogan on one side, quite possibly one of the most influential professional wrestlers in wrestling history. I mean that's a given. That's a really important thing to take into consideration. But on the other side, one of the most controversial figures in professional wrestling by far. The dude is quite possibly one of the earliest examples that we can remember of somebody using, their influence and using their connections to keep themselves in a specific spot, in contrast to everybody else on the roster, roughly. It's very, very, very easy to say, but it's also very easy to say, "Hey, the man just died. Stop being so, stop being so hard on him. Stop being so happy that he passed away." And it's like going, there's some people whose careers were there's some people whose careers were elevated because of him, but there's some people whose careers were stifled because of him. There could have been a union made in WWE that he is responsible for making sure it didn't happen. The union would have helped him out as well, and he's like, let's not. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but it's like, while there are some people who truly, who are probably some of his closest friends who really appreciated his career, appreciated his contribution to professional wrestling, there's going to be others that's going to be like F Hulk Hogan. And you really have to take into consideration that while like the influence there is going to be something that like people are going, like, there's always going to be divisive figures and everything, but you also have to really you also have to realize too is that like if somebody is celebrating or mocking, if a whole bunch of people who have never met somebody is celebrating and mocking and posting up memes, and it's funny for them, you have to really think about like instead of being upset that they are saying that, you should probably ask yourself what would drive somebody to think this way about somebody. Because the Iron Sheik used to say all types of stuff about a lot of people, but people didn't celebrate his death. You know what I'm saying? Like, George Washington's been dead for more than 200 years. Nobody said anything about him. William Henry Harrison, same concept. There's a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people who are dead now, who people aren't celebrating. There's no memes about them. There's no jokes being made about them. There's a lot of people die every day. So you have to really think about like it's just one of those things you have to sort of just say, you know what did this person do to upset this many people? And if you are willing to accept that some people are just like, some people have rubbed some people the wrong way, and some of it might be well deserved, we could probably be a bit of a better community. You know what I'm saying? It's like, instead of trying to like make it seem like somebody is perfect, or yeah, oh, they're perfect as long as you ignore the bad parts. Nobody's perfect. Just let just everybody mourns differently, but also everybody is going to acknowledge death differently. Some people mourn it, some people are sad, some people are somber, some people are morose, other people are jovial. Instead of being mad at the people who are jovial, ask yourself, why are they jovial? Because I never met Charlie Kirk before. You know what I'm saying? I never met him before, never had a conversation with him. Don't I obviously won't have a conversation with him now. Mm. But you kind of have to wonder. So, but it's like just don't. God, I'm losing track here because I gotta get back into wrestling. I gotta get back into wrestling. I never met Hulk Hogan. I probably will never meet Hulk Hogan. I'm trying my best to. That's funny, but I'll probably never meet Hulk Hogan. But in life and in death, because I'm black. But the fact of the matter is that like, but you have to really kind of wonder specifically like, What could somebody have done to get that much ire from a community, from people that they don't even, that's from people that never even met? Instead of assuming that they're perfect or that they should be, or that their worst moments should be overlooked, you should look at their worst moments. If you're willing to see their worst moments and go, okay, he's a great wrestler, but he also had this stuff going on. He also did these things. He also said these things. You know what? I can understand why people dislike him. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to say that than stop being upset. He never did these things. This never happened before. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't gaslight yourself into supporting a monster because you don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? You don't know anything. Like I was a huge fan of Chris Benoit, but I also have to realize I don't know Chris Benoit enough to deny how he passed away or what happened. I'm not. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy. I never met him. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that like no matter how big of a fan I am of his, all I can do is acknowledge that maybe he did do the thing, and maybe he was undergoing some issues. The fact of the matter is that like adoration should not mean masking somebody, like, you know, putting somebody in a frame of thought that you want them to be in. If somebody is a monster that you like, if you probably would do yourself a bigger favor just acknowledging that they are a monster. I'm just saying. In any case, though, to go back to professional wrestling, um, yeah, the reality of wrestling show was good. I steered off too much. The reality of wrestling show was good. I got a chance to say the dumbest things on the planet to L2 and Lash Legend, and you know, it was fun. It was fun. I can't wait for the next one. And I just hope I can finally earn enough to be able to go back into training. But I steered this on a little bit too long. Love and peace to every single person out there. Y'all be and I hope to see you guys in the ring one day.